Here's an interesting one from just reading some just nice little thing, and I'll read it off because again, I'm not set up with lighting windows open. That's the only reason it seems brighter behind me. I'm not set up my PC with lighting to use the green screen yet, so I just use my phone because it looks better on the phone than on the computer with the crappy lighting. I'll read it off. The truth is, if they won't admit what happened, they're still protecting the lie. Don't itch my nose. And if they're protecting the lie, they're not sorry for the damage it caused. They're just afraid of being seen for who they really are. That's where I stop and got inquiring. I'll just finish it. The sad part is they're willing to let you carry the pain as long as they don't have to carry the truth. That tells you everything you need to know about their character. Who they really are is what I am expressing on right now. Again, expressing from my being, which is who I really am. That's why it caught my attention. Why are people afraid of being seen for who they are? I mean, I internalized and I did not, I grew up shy. I dared not ever speak from within like I do, just openly here now with no preparation, no performances, just here, throw it out there for the internet to handle. Yeah. I'm expressing from, a simple way to put it, the foundation of me, and just putting it out there for the internet. Excuse me. They're afraid of being seen for who they are. I don't really think, honestly, most of the time, I don't think people even know. They're too busy with ego, with, again, self-orientation people. That is statistically in cognitive orientation, the self being the central or the primary orientation is statistically, and these aren't my words, about 85 to 90% of the estimated population. Again, that was not my words, that is quoted, that is actual research. So, it's like, if everybody builds, this is who I am based on a societal function, a performance, anything of the sort, and they never go deeper into the foundation of you that is actually doing it all, and learning who that part of you is, then they don't even know that it's just, they're afraid of their, just generally speaking, from my point of view, it seems they're just afraid that whenever the castle of cards come tumbling down, that there won't be anything left. From my own experience regarding being, even when there is literally nothing left within, or any part of you. I've already been there. When there's absolutely nothing at all left, that foundation of you, your being, the constant of you remains regardless. When you get to the point where ceasing to exist is yearned for, because you get that bad into suffering. It's like, again, even at the bottom of the barrel, bottom of the abyss, however you want to call it, just like even when you're completely emptied, you, the actual you, rather, it would, self-speaking here, still remains. Except, I guess there's a lot of skeletons in the closet most people don't like to pull out and have to sift through to find that version of themselves. I don't know how everybody else is. Again, I've only ever primarily been from that foundation of being, that singularity of me has always been primary and present for me. I've always looked, even as a child, as like if I was acting, like I remember like showing, like even as a little kid, showing off for girls and stuff like that. Again, I was completely aware that wasn't my identity. That was me just simply performing, and that was it. I wasn't showing off, like, I was never showing off me. I was showing off a performance to get attention. Except deep down, it was, connection, harmony, and congruence that I really wanted from my being, even if I was acting like a fool to get attention for it. So again, I've never not known who I really am. Again, and this is no religious, no other affiliation. I am that I am. I am who I am. There is an unchanging foundation that has been present me since 3 years old. Not aware 24/7 at that, obviously that young. But it's like, that's what I mean, like, I didn't begin this life creating identities and living from ego and performance and falseness and delusions, just trying to play the societal game or the cultural game and all this stuff. I was just simply me all the time. That's the primary reason why I was always so quiet growing up, and took decades to start, well, it was actually until my 20s till I started lashing back at the nonsense. It's like, how do you not know who you really are? It's like, and what do you like? And then, no offense, it's like, and then you're worried about what? Seeing somebody seeing what? It's like, then you got what? Your shame, the things you've done wrong. Nobody's perfect. Don't dictate yourself by what you do wrong. You're supposed to learn from doing wrong, not make that your identity or a lockbox within. That's a negative thing, and all it's going to produce is a negative influence. And then as far as, again, people are afraid of judgment. Yes, again, because that seems to be the majority default.
I'm taking a shower.
Okay. It's like everybody's worried about judgment. Oh, I gotta perform this way, I gotta look this way, look that way, sound this way, talk this way. Everything of me has got to be perfect, including this big schnoz. Oh, I gotta look perfect. That is simply negativity. Nothing good comes from that. Why should you care? If you look the fool, but you're being your authentic you, who out there, anywhere, is there to say what is more you than you know you? If I'm sitting here saying I'm expressing from my being because I operate in here, from a state of being from within, the intangible you, the intangible me, who is to say otherwise? Is anybody else in here with me? No. It's only me in here. That's why it's so lonely. That's solitude. Yeah, there's a little thing. Talking about solitude, hermits and stuff like that, when all this deep talk freaking crap on social media. There is only one true place of solitude. Within. Well, for me. Okay, because again, I don't have a closet in there full of skeletons. I sit with everything I do longer than I should. I'm more accountable inside myself, in here my being of myself, than I even should be. I am more and overly honest with myself. Period. Even though it doesn't matter if, again, what is here is only me. It's only me in here. So again, that's the solitude part. It's like, I don't need to go anywhere physically other than, maybe some peace and quiet, but interruptions and stuff like that, it's like, this is only solitude. All right, getting off that little extra bit. But afraid of being seen for who they really are. Again, this is why I love authenticity. People are worried about who they really are. Okay, what is something that is authentic? Without distortion. What is there to be afraid of in authenticity? Absolutely nothing. Disagreement with some of it causes suffering from disagreeing with reality. Yeah. Again, shit happens. But somebody that is just being their authentic selves, not self, but their being, their entirety, that doesn't bring forth disruption, negativity, and stuff like that. The misunderstanding usually does when it revolves other people, because if you say something, obvious that is disruptive that they're not aware of, or it attacks their ego, then there's going to be conflict, then there's negativity, but that's not authentic. That's just disruption upon disruption with ignorance. But just to be your authentic being, self, every layer, which, again, I don't know how to be your authentic self layer because that has never been primary for me. I only know how to be my authentic being. So it's like I've only ever been who I really am. So it's like because I completely lost my trail there for a moment. It's like authenticity. Something that is as it is, that it is there's no, you can't argue with it. It's in its authentic state. It doesn't disrupt unless it's authentic disruption. That's different. I'm talking about something authentic to cause. Well, you can't cause disruption if it's not authentic disruption, because authenticity doesn't disrupt. And to bring about suffering, negativity, etc., is the introduction of disruption. Which again, nothing is, again, you're not perfect. There's always, it's just dynamic things that come from that. Misunderstanding, stuff like that. Even if you're being authentic, not everybody's going to understand you. There will be conflicts, all that nonsense. But you have to truly understand that about authenticity. If you find your authentic center, foundation, etc., damn cat. He found his center, bringing it over with a shirt in his mouth. But it's like, only you can be you. Only me can be me. Why outsource that? Like, why outsource that? Everybody is unique. Why outsource that and try to copy everybody just to fit in and stuff like that, generally speaking? It's like, everybody out there is their own individual existence. Even if, an animal, an insect, cat. The cat's a singularity. He's right there. I didn't make him. I don't dictate him. He is that he is. So why not just allow it, along with yourself? It's funny. It took 4 decades of suffering to realize which was truly primary, even though I was already living from it. My being, authentic being. I've always lived from there my whole life, even though I never directly spoke from there. Everything was always internalized first and then expressed, then brought out. It was never a performance and whatnot, so it took 4 decades of suffering, disruption, nonsense, etc., of every kind to realize which is my primary orientation and which is most valuable, at least to me. My authenticity of being and me just being me matters more than any performance, any identity, any ego, any acceptance, any refusal, any negativity external from me. If I am my own individual singularity, that is already the best state of being. Isn't it better to be singularly yourself than to be the same as everybody else? Why should you have to apologize for that? Why should you have to be afraid of others from that? What? Again, because what? Because you're not fitting in? Fitting in and copying others for any reason other than authentic interest is, to me, it's like mindless robots. Monkey see, monkey do. The lack of individuality. And again, maybe some people are completely unaware of their own individuality. Monkey see, monkey do. It's like a mindless robot out there, running on pure programming, as they call it. NPCs is another one. And I'm the complete opposite of that. I am my own singular existence, existing as a human being. That is what being is, the intangible you. It is the driver within the body. Where do you think your decisions come from? Randomness from your brain? I mean, hey, whatever your awareness level is, it is that it is. But the initial foundational determination of anything is the foundation of my being that determines everything that even happens internally and then outward. If I do that, I foundationally decided to. I'm not thinking to, I am just being, and then just whatever I want to do. Anything negative happens to a point, depending on how much it influences, I foundationally dictate its influence on me. Sadly, I let everything through, which is a bad thing and a good thing. But it's like, I thought everybody likes to be the best. The ego and nonsense, all that crap, competitive. They want to be the best and make fun of the worst. So everybody, to be the best, to be number one. Can't even think. You already are. If you're at least self-aware enough, you already are one singularity of an existence of life within a human body, as a human, within all that this is. If you want to be competitive, the collective of humanity itself should be number one. And I don't mean that in a self-centered or ego type of way. I mean just collective unity of a singular species instead of illogically divided. killing ourselves. Humanity killing humanity. Yeah, try to intellectualize an argument against that. We like our nonsense more than our own very lives. Who's delusional? Who's delusional? Not me. That's literal too. We value our nonsense more than other very lives of humanity. Again, everybody wants to be number one. They want to be first, etc., etc., etc. Those living from self and ego, etc., and societal performances and everything else. If you are self-aware, you already are one. Similarities to things doesn't mean, you and another person are similar, doesn't make you one. You'll always be two. So just remain, or just find, your own foundational singularity. Don't need to compete to be the best. Dig within to find you. And again, I can't help there. I've never left there. I started from within, and that authentic place within, and I just never ever left there since 3 years old. And I'm not boasting. I'm just saying. Can you stop violating that laundry right at my feet? Are you done? Excuse me. Yeah. I bought you. I adopted a girlfriend for you, but he's fixed. But he still goes through the motions with clothing. I don't care. But it's like afraid of being seen for who they really are. Like that's all you have to do is just find who you are. Because it's not distortion, it's not disruptive, it's authentic. It's what's been present your entire life, which again, if you're not aware of it, I can't help there. I really don't know how to help in that regard because I've never had to search for it. I've always been there. I've just never completely allowed it to be primary outwardly in every way, like just expressing from within or even living from within or being from within and everything else. I was always the quiet one, stuff like that. I learned to shut up. I didn't have really positive people around me, so I always kept internalizing, observing from within. The silence, your silent being within, hearing words, seeing pictures, hearing things, seeing things, imagining things, visualizing things, and yet none of it's all in the palm of my hand. That's what the intangible you. Because everything internally is intangible. And that's getting off track a bit. Half an hour on just one little thing of randomness online. They're just afraid of being seen for who they really are. Now, put that in a superficial, simple type of way. Afraid of... That gets complicated for me. It goes surface to deep. And entanglements and everything else. It's like, yeah, afraid of accountability for their wrongdoings, and yet they continue to do the wrongdoings and deny all accountability of it. And it's like, oh, like again, like a nice narcissistic, unfaithful wife I got. Repeated patterns, you can clearly observe the suffering being handed to me unjustifiably, and yet the pattern continues. What are you afraid of? Afraid of being that which I just said? Well, if that is all you do and bring into the world and influence others, and that is who you are, and yet it's not. Are people afraid that's them, that is who they are? But then they keep repeating it. Again, no, my example remains, I'm not going to keep digging into that. But that's not the authentic layer of you, rather of me, well, of being. What's it? Because, again, regarding being, to deliberately introduce suffering and disruption to another just so I get superficial, egotistical, identity, etc. pleasure, physical pleasure even, in some way, shape, or form. I went to the pool yesterday. Ooh, look at that. Ooh, that burns. It's like, I don't know about anybody else, because obviously, again, singularity, I can't go within anybody and know what's going on. But, like, causing that deliberately, once enough, like, understanding, wisdom, experience, etc. is known, understood, etc., being deliberate in, like, bringing forth negativity, disruption, nonsense, etc., from my authentic level of being, it's completely against, in opposition and the opposite of my authentic layer of being, the authenticity of being. It's not disruption, so any disruption delivered from it is not intentional, etc. Damn it. I'm going to have a drink. Ooh, yeah. I got burnt up at pool yesterday. Ooh, wow. Now I got more of a red tattoo. Stop moving. What's that? Who they perceive for who they really are. And again, yeah, I've been sitting here talking for a little bit more than a half an hour. I can internalize this in sitting here quietly in a few, over more than this in a few matter of minutes. Protecting the lives, they're not sorry for the damage they caused. Yeah. Why are people always not held, like, why refuse accountability? do wrong and run from it. I've never been able to my whole life. Anything I've done externally, doing something wrong as a kid and stuff, I was always held accountable for even the stupid stuff that made no sense to punish anybody over. Even stuff others had no justifiable reason to punish me over even. Not to mention, again, internally honest with myself completely. A little too much, honestly. I sit with things too long, even my own wrongs or negative reactions, especially. It's like, yeah, somebody pisses me off and enough where I snap. Yeah, I even sit and torture myself for failing myself in reaction like that. I don't need to say it out loud. I don't need to get a megaphone and start announcing it to everybody. And yet, people always assume that nobody else does. And it's like, that's what? Is self-accountability within, in the silence of one's own thoughts, contemplation, etc., a rarity? That's disturbing. And again, no, I'm not going to go in sidetrack. I was going to get into identity and whatnot. Again, yeah, your own singularity, your own individualism. Again, I am singularly my own existence aware of itself, period. That's not funny. No, but I'm not talking all mystical or magical or weirdness. I'm just saying aware of one's own singular existence, period. Within existence, I exist within physical reality as a human. And the pause there. I am a singular existence existing within a human body, within physical reality, and the entire process of it all is life. That's my understanding. Me. I'm not putting that for anyone. Nothing I say here is dictating anything over anyone else, for anyone else. I'm not telling anybody what to think, how to feel, how to be. Nothing at all. I am simply speaking from me. Again, I am simply speaking, and I just got that little thing on the screen. I am just not afraid of being seen or speaking from who I really am. Regardless of how, because again, people that nobody knows me, because it's only me in here. I can't bring this out unless I sit here and do stuff like this. Unless I, interact with people, except I can't bring this out fully unless there's no disruption. That's why I like my privacy. I don't like people sitting here having a freaking, again, self-oriented people sitting there hearing somebody talk like this. They'll be sitting there, listening, and then like my wife, I'll be like a minute in, and then she'll start speaking over me, or trying to correct me, and all that freaking nonsense. I could give my 2 cents. Basically, that nonsense. Even if they don't vocalize it, you could see it in people's mannerisms. You'll see them just like, with your ear, like listening and stuff like that. It's like that's disruptive, and it's like to express who I really am. Nothing, just me talking out loud, paying no attention whatsoever in expression internally or at all regarding that or anything else. All right, 40 minutes, yeah. And again, I'm just going to cut this here because I could keep going and going and going like that freaking Energizer bunny, and I enjoy it. I enjoy internally analyzing, digging, I just enjoy operating from within because there is far more happening and going on within than I can ever physically do, express anything or say. Doesn't matter. It's like I can internalize an entire movie I've watched before in like seconds, and I don't need to sit and watch it again. I'm not talking about going over every freaking scene. It's almost like taking a reel and just hitting it at like four times speed or greater, and it's just like instead of being like Mickey Mouse or the chipmunk flying by, it's coherent, it's crystal clear, but it's so fast. Like internalizing is just so quicker and almost immediate. It's quicker than directly observable. It seems like it's instant. I mean, I don't know if it is or not. And to be able to just express from there, be in there in the moment and talk, again, that is who I really am. It's easy without any distractions or nonsense. Afraid of being seen for who they really are. I'm just going to leave this closing with one little bit. Probably said it again, or said it already. If you are being your authentic you, which doesn't deliberately share, distribute, or create disruption, negativity, chaos, you're not out there purposely causing people pain and suffering, even emotionally or internally in any way, then what is there to be afraid of? Others' opinion, but that's more your ego is afraid. What others would say, more ego. Why bother? Logically, it's simple for me. It's like, if I just be me, then, and I'm not projecting anything negative, I'm not intently or trying to, I'm just speaking me, and that's it. Just being me, and I am only me, nobody else is. I am that I am, who I am, how I am, and that's it. Not referring to a religion. So, what does any negativity from others matter? If I'm not disrupting anyone else, then anyone trying to disrupt me in any kind of negative opinion or bullcrap, is there any value in that? I know myself enough where I know myself more than anyone else that is alive or dead. Who knows me better than me other than the creator of me? Anyone? No one? Then why should I give a flying screw job over the introduction of negativity regarding that? It's worthless. It just expresses who the person is that is trying to hand you negativity. So just be you authentically, not negatively. You're already one up than the people who are trying to perform that in ego or knock it down. That's already ahead of that nonsense game. So why would you have to be influenced by it? Just be you.